Howdy, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello, how's it going? Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining me here for another one, another live one, as a matter of fact. New West Reset Live, episode 166 here today. Sunday, April 12th, 2026. Just a wee past 5 p.m. local time, mountain time. Coming at you live from the foothills of the Canadian Rocky Mountains, right here in Purdy, Alberta. Calgary, Alberta. That's up in Canada land there, eh, buddy? It's Purdy-ish today. It's not super warm. It's kind of cloudy. It's only +2 Celsius right now at 5 in the evening. 5 in the afternoon? Evening? Whatever. You know what I mean. 5 p.m. +2 Celsius is, I don't know, 35, 36-ish Fahrenheit. Not the best. But that's fine. That's fine. We're all here together. We're all in this together. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for winding down your weekend here for the live show. Today, as mentioned, episode 166, we're going to be looking at the castles of Thomas Jefferson with some photos dated between 1861 and 1920. We're going to look at the Thomas Jefferson architect narrative, along with some of the structures we're told he designed. That's right. This was a new one on me. Again, you know, I'm a naive Canadian, so I'm not as familiar with American history, his story. I'd heard of Thomas Jefferson. I knew he was a prez down there and whatnot. Founding father in terms of, you know, the early history of the United States. My favorite neighbors to the south there, by the way. Eh? Gotta love those Americans down there. I knew that he signed the Declaration of Independence, I think it was, or you know, something important. Maybe it was the Constitution, maybe both. He signed something important. He was a big guy down there. But I didn't know he was just designing buildings. Now, we've all heard of Monticello, or many of us, I'm sure, have heard of Monticello. He didn't just build that. He built a whole schwack, a whole mess of it. He got silly with it. He was going crazy with just designing buildings here, there, everywhere. I don't get it. So yeah, we're going to have a look at that a little bit and take a mid-show break, come back, have a look at some photographs of said structures. And I've found some old photographs, again, dated as far back as 1861. Older than these cameras. This one's from the 1880s. This one's from 19-aughts-ish. I don't have a camera from the 1860s in my collection. Whew. It's going back a ways in cameras, but yeah, got some old photos, got a few of them. So thank you here for joining me. As always, links below in the description box for everything we're going to cover on the show, as well as how you can get a hold of a fella from the show. You know, you can get a hold of old Frankie. Email, BitChute, and of course, YouTube and Rumble, broadcasting simultaneously on both. So welcome to everybody on the HooTubes and on the green fighting platform, the Bumble. Thanks for winding down your weekend here. If you haven't already, please do all the things, you know, just to help push a fellow out into the algorithm. Welcome if you're new to the channel. If you're watching this after the live, thank you very much for your support as well. For those of you who have already shared and subscribed, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here and winding down your weekend on the Sunday Funday show there, eh, buddy? Woo! Woo! So aside from it being kind of a meh day, I'm doing all right, doing well. How you doing? Let me know in the chat, in the box. How you doing? How you feeling? What's going on? Hippie Shake is here. Hello, Hippie. Yes, thank you for sharing all the links. Quick, like a bunny on the keyboard with sharing the links. Thank you. Thank you very much, Hippie. Channel Fitty Tree is in the box. Hello, hello. Appreciate you as well. Thank you very much for being here. Howdy, Kathy. Kathy Broughton from Kentucky, the bluegrass state. You still have snow down there, Kathy? I don't imagine so. I don't imagine you do. Ross might in Missouri. Water the tree, everybody. That's Ross. Good to see you there, pal. Baja's here as well. Howdy, Baja. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. The reason I'm asking about the snow, there's Dragon Sage. Howdy. It's my Dragon Sage impression. What do you think of that? Been working on that. Howdy. Old World, Michigan is here. It's Eric, I do believe. There's Terry, Teresa, Gregory in the box. Hello, hello. I can't sing or play guitar. I can't play that git fiddle like Dragon Sage, though, I'll tell you what. There's KJ, everybody. Kinley Jackson is here. Hello, hello, hello. No snow, says Kathy. No snow in Kentucky. There you go. That's good. It's good. Nice to hear. Odin's Raven is in the box. Howdy, partner. Hello, hello. So no snow in Kentucky. I'm asking you, right? Because you know what's coming. You know what's coming, right? Yes. Yes, it is as we speak, April 12th. And you know what? Rather than me talking about it, let me just show you what I'm talking about. What do you think of that? Let me just show you exactly what we're dealing with here. Typical Canadian. Got to make it all about the weather. But yeah, this is hot off the meme press. I just memed this. Here you go.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what's going on. It stopped now. But yeah, maybe an hour ago. Not even. It kind of sputters. It starts, it stops again. Well, yeah, you said at the start of every one of your videos. I know. Howdy. There's a few of us that say howdy in our videos. There's you, there's me. I believe Jared Boosters. Howdy, y'all. I mean, I say howdy because, you know, we're cowboys out here in southern Alberta, here in Calgary, Alberta, in Cowtown. It's one of Calgary's nicknames, Cowtown. So cowboys here, so I got to give you the howdy. I don't know if I could go full on with it with the howdy y'all though. I don't know. That's right. Howdy, Stampede's coming up. Yeehaw! That's right. That's right. The biggest rootin' tootin' rodeo north of the 49th parallel, or what is that? Anyway, that's right. Up here in Canada land, we have one of the world's biggest rodeo. Well, y'all is a real word for sure. For sure. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Just I don't know if I can go. I don't know if I'm comfortable with, for me personally, pairing the howdy and the y'all. Howdy, y'all. I mean, I'm not a real cowboy. All right. I'm not. I'm from out east. Mind you, I consider myself an Albertan. I've lived here 46 years, coming up on 47. So I'm an Albertan. I'm a Calgarian, let's face it. But even still, I'm not a real cowboy. I don't know. It's I'm of the mind that if you ain't a real cowboy, you shouldn't be necessarily walking around saying stuff like "howdy, y'all." At least around here, because the real cowboys will be like, "Hey, buddy, what do you think you're doing there, eh?" Nah, I'm just playing. Say what you want. Hold on to that freedom of speech, freedom of expression while we still have it. Well, yeah, but in Kentucky, sure, that's different, right? If you're from the South or even South adjacent, well, you could say howdy, y'all, for sure. You could say howdy, y'all all day. I would expect a howdy, y'all from somebody from Kentucky or even, North Carolina, South Carolina, even Virginia, West Virginia, maybe even Missouri. Of course, once you get out west into like Nebraska and Kansas and Montana, Colorado, you're going to be getting lots of howdy y'alls. Wyoming, Utah, Texas for sure. If I'm in Texas and I don't get a howdy y'all, I'm going to be plumb disappointed, I tell you what. Plumb disappointed. It's not that cold, hippie. It's +2. It was just with the wind, it was just enough for it to be snow instead of rain. That's my favorite song. I sing it all the time. Just cold enough to be snow and not rain. It's a strange little thing that I cannot explain. Anyway, thank you for being here. As usual, links below. We're going to look at Thomas Jefferson himself. We're going to look at some of his achievements. Aside from being president, by the way, Modoc in the box. See, from Nevada, that's right. They say howdy y'all in Nevada. You know you're going to get howdy. I don't know if Southern Ontario counts as down south. It's not like you're going to be like, "Oh, Belvedere, bring me some sweet tea. I say, plumb hot and thirsty down here. Y'all fetch me some sweet tea now. You hear?" Now that's the South. I learn all my Southern references from Looney Tunes cartoons. "Oh, Belvedere, come here, boy." Anyway. What do you say we quit screwing around now and get down to brass tacks here? Like, I know we're having fun, but, we're here to do some serious stuff.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
Anyway, thank you once again for joining me. Let's get the show on the road here. Let's check out what the Wikipedia says first and foremost. If you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your support. Welcome to what we can only just call
shenanigans.
I mean, that's it. That's all we can say. But the reason I go with the Wikipedia is because, I mean, that's the quick and dirty version that most normies are going to go with. By the way, this whole subject came up because, again, I was watching the show with my bro. He downloads these shows, right? Because we don't... he sails the high seas of digital video piracy. Yar, matey. Yar. Howdy, PCS world. Good to see you, bud. Hello, hello. Anyway. We're not going to pay for streaming and all that. What are you, crazy? There's only a few television shows we watch anyways, because most of it's garbage. Complete, sheer garbage. But there's the odd show. There's one that I like, and he knows I like it. So he's like, "Yeah, I got you, bro. I'll get it for you." Then he puts it on a little stick, and we pop it into the video game console, and we watch it on the big screen. I don't even remember the name of the show, but they showcase or they highlight these fancy old world mansions and homes, right? Like John Jacob Astor's home and whatnot and so forth and whatnot. Anyways, on this episode, they were talking about Thomas Jefferson's home, which is called Monticello. And I was like, yeah, I heard of that place. I've seen content creators talking about that place. I mean, it's off the hook and it's beauty. But I didn't realize until they said it, it was designed by Thomas Jefferson. I'm like, well, wait. So what? Back the truck up, bub? Wait a second here now. Come on now. This guy's got time. Let me just pull up his bio here on the Wikipedia. Because when we read what's going on with this guy, I mean, he had a lot of balls in the air. He was juggling a lot of stuff. And I mean, half these politics, it's not like politics today, where that's what you do and all you do for your term or whatever. Back then, these guys were still, farmers or plantation owners or whatever. They still had other crap going on. They were like on the old Ed Sullivan show, spinning them plates. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, well, I don't just want to live in a mansion, even though I'm a public servant. No, that's not good enough. No, I'm going to design my own, even though I shouldn't have enough time to do this, and I've never been formally trained. Not that makes a difference, because half of the old world structures that we read about and research were built by some guy who never went to any kind of architectural post-secondary school, no diploma or degree. He won the bid in some contest to build the thing. Howdy, Ryan. Hello. Good to see you. But you think if the guy's the president of the United States of America, you think, this guy, I don't have time with this. Just, contact your local contractor, your home builder, and say, just give me like a nice 8-room, 2-story out of brick and stone, please, or what have you. Anyways, see what Wikipedia says. Thomas Jefferson, if you're not familiar, born April 13th, 1743, passed on, well, you look at that, the 4th of July, 1826. Are you kidding me? Really? Okay. Did they decide on the 4th of July because it used to be called President's Day and it was celebrated because of Jefferson? I don't know. I'm a Canadian there, eh? I have no idea. CJ is in the box. I live in Charlottesville. This is awesome. Well, howdy, y'all. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. We're only just done getting started over here. So you're going to hear a lot of gasps of disbelief from me because, again, as mentioned, I'm a Canadian. So, again, I knew this guy was president and he was important. He's high up on the presidential pecking order, right? Anyways, he was a founding father. See, I knew it. And the third president of the United States from 1801 to 1809. He was the primary author of, there it is, Declaration of Independence, okay? Jefferson was a leading proponent of democracy, republicanism, and natural rights. He produced formative documents and decisions at the state, national, and international levels. Already a pretty full plate for the guy. He was born in the colony of Virginia's planter class during the American Revolution. Jefferson represented Virginia in the Second Continental Congress, which unanimously adopted the Declaration of Independence. His advocacy for individual rights, including freedom of thought, speech, and religion, helped shape the ideological foundations of the Revolution. Jefferson served as the second governor of Virginia from 1779 to 1781. 1785, Congress appointed Jefferson as U.S. Minister to France, where he served from 1785 to 1789. Wasn't Benjamin Franklin also involved with France at the state level in some way? He was an ambassador or minister to France as well at some point, which I know he was, a Freemason. He was one of them square and compass guys. So was Jefferson as well? I don't know. I didn't, to be honest, it completely slipped my mind to see if old Tommy boy here was a square and compass fella. Anyway, with that said, moving along here, President Washington then appointed Jefferson the nation's first Secretary of State, where he served from 1790 to 1793. In 1792, Jefferson and political ally, James Madison organized the Democratic Republican Party. That would never work today. Anyways, to oppose the Federalist Party during the formation of the nation's first party system. Jefferson and Federalist John Adams became both personal friends and political rivals. Well, if you're both, brothers of the fraternal order with all them goofy handshakes and whatnot, then that's how it is behind the scenes. No matter what's going on in front of the people's eyes, behind the scenes, if you've both taken those same oaths and vows with punishment for breaking those oaths and vows, then yeah, behind that curtain, you're going to be chums. So in the 1796 U.S. presidential election between the two, Jefferson came in second, which made him Adams's vice president under the electoral laws of the time. See, so if you run for pres and you come in second, you can be vice pres, just like your student council. Anyways, we're going to skip ahead here. Let's get into some of what's going on with this guy and how all of a sudden he's just designing castles, for lack of a better term. Early life and education. Okay, he was born at the family's Shadwell plantation in the colony of Virginia. Then one of the 13 colonies of British America. He was the third of 10 children. His father, Peter Jefferson, was a planter and surveyor. His mother was Jane Randolph, the mother of U.S. President, born of the parish. She was the daughter of Isham Randolph, the ship's captain. Okay, fine. Peter Jefferson moved his family to Tuckahoe Plantation. Tuckahoe? Maybe mispronouncing that. Excuse me if I am. In 1745, following the passing of William Randolph III, plantation's owner and Jefferson's friend, who in his will had named Peter guardian of Randolph's children. The Jeffersons returned to Shadwell before October 1753. He began his education with the Randolph children at Tuckahoe under tutors. And his father was self-taught, so he entered Tommy boy here into English school at 5. In 1752, at the age of 9, he attended a local school run by a Presbyterian minister. Began studying natural world. Really at 9, I'm just going to become a naturalist. When I was 9, I was still trying to pick my nose the most efficient way possible. And playing with Hot Wheels cars. Sometimes simultaneously. So he read books from his father's modest library, and he was taught from 1758 to 1760 by the Reverend James Morey near Gordonsville, Virginia, where he studied history, science, and the classics while boarding with Morey's family. Jefferson came to know various American Indians, including Cherokee Chief Ostanaco, who often stopped at Shadwell to visit on their way to Williamsburg to trade. In Williamsburg, the young Jefferson met and came to admire Patrick Henry. So his dad passes in 1757, and the state is divided between his sons. 1761, at the age of 18, he enters the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, where he studies mathematics and philosophy with William Small. Under Small's tutelage, Jefferson encountered the idea of British empiricists, including Locke, Bacon, and Isaac Newton. Small also introduced Jefferson to George Wythe, I believe, and Francis Fauquier. Small, White, and Fauquier recognized Jefferson as a man of exceptional ability and included him in their inner circle. Just like that. This kid's going places. That's right. Kathy, very succinct. I go through all this song and dance with the Wikipedia, but she's got it right. Yeah, basically, it was an overachiever, everybody. Which is how they can pack in so much stuff in this guy's life. Started at the age of 9. He showed interest in his father's modest library, book collection, and was interested in naturalism, which of course parlays into mathematics. I mean, there is mathematics in nature and in music, but not necessarily first two things I would think would go together. But anyways, so he kept 2 commonplace books from 15 to 30. He compiled a book of sayings and quotations, published in 2070 as Jefferson's Literary Commonplace Book. So he's a vice president, a president, he's a publisher. He treasured his books, amassed 3 sizable libraries in his lifetime. Why not just have one big library? Career on, he was a lawyer. Of course he was. In 1767, Jefferson was granted admission to the Virginia bar and lived with his mother at Shadwell. Between 1769 and 1775, he represented Albemarle County in Virginia's House of Burgesses. While serving in the House of Burgesses, Jefferson pursued reforms to Slavatoryism, including writing and sponsoring legislation in 1769 to strip power from the royal governor and courts, instead providing masters of Slavicism with the discretion to emancipate them. Oops, I jumped really far ahead because I got click happy. Sorry. And, forgive my censoring myself. We have freedom of expression here in Canada in our Charter of Rights, but we're not exactly free to practice them. It's free in theory. Now I've lost my place. Anyways, we just want to try to get to some of his education here. Sorry about that. It's technical difficulties here. Excuse me. Sorry. On expeditions. He's involved in Louisiana Purchase, the Barbary conflict, everything. Again, not to mention he was a president. Come on, man. All right, here we are. So we were somewhere in here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. A little bit of a technical mix-up.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So Jefferson's concern about emerging political rivalries in the young nation was escalating. He wrote Washington imploring him to run for re-election for a second term that year as a unifying influence. So he's bending the ear of the current president. Guy's just buddies with everybody. After the Washington administration negotiated the Jay Treaty with Britain in 1794, Jefferson saw a cause around which he could rally the Democratic Republican Party. He organized national opposition to the treaty from Monticello. There it is. The treaty, designed by Hamilton, aimed to reduce tensions and increase trade. We were at each other's throats not but a few years ago, and now we want to trade with you because we know you want our cotton, and you know that we want your tea. So maybe we can work out a little something there, governor. So in the presidential campaign of 1796, Jefferson lost the Electoral College vote to Federalist John Adams by a 3-vote margin. He did, however, receive the second highest number of votes, and under the electoral laws at the time, was elected as vice president. As presiding officer of the United States Senate, Jefferson assumed a more passive role than his predecessor, John Adams. Okay. Studied parliamentary law and procedure for 40 years, making him qualified to serve as presiding officer. In 1800, he published his assembled notes on Senate procedure, a manual of parliamentary practice. Oh, I bet you that's a real page turner. So he's publishing books, he's vice president, then he becomes president. All the while, by the way, he's designing buildings and having these buildings built, including his own, a couple for his own personal use. He's involved with the Barbary conflict, the Louisiana Purchase. Spain seceded ownership of the Louisiana Territory in 1800 to France. Jefferson was concerned that Napoleon's interest in the vast territory would threaten the security of the continent and Mississippi River shipping. He wrote that the cession works most sorely on the U.S. It completely reverses all the political relations of the U.S. In 1802, he instructed James Monroe and Robert R. Livingston, to negotiate the purchase of New Orleans. Just give those French some cash. Give them some Benjamins. They'll folk over all that land. It even goes up into Canada land, close to where yours truly lives right now. Then he went on some expeditions, did he? He anticipated further westward settlements due to Louisiana Purchase and he arranged for the exploration. Ah, okay. And mapping of uncharted territory. Why is it uncharted if Spain and France already owned that area? And not to mention the indigenous Native American peoples of different bands or tribes or, nations, whatever you want to call them. Buonasera, Roberto. Buonasera. Como stai? So he sought to establish a U.S. claim ahead of competing European interests to find the rumored Northwest Passage. Jefferson and others were influenced by exploration accounts of La Page de Prats in Louisiana, 1763, and James Cook in the Pacific, 1784. And they persuaded Congress in 1804 to fund an expedition to explore and map the newly acquired territory to the Pacific Ocean. So there's where you get the Lewis Clark Corps of Discovery and all that song and dance. Of course, he's buddies with Cherokees and whatnot. Enlightenment, even though he was still a Slavi owner, then he was not without his controversies, as most politicians would be. Interests and activities. Jefferson was a farmer, obsessed with so he's a farmer also. Obsessed with new crops, soil conditions, garden design, so he's a landscape architect as well, apparently, and scientific agricultural techniques. He's a scientist. His founding father. He was a congressman, vice president, president, published author or writer. What else? A lawyer, a farmer, and a scientist. Oh, and a landscape designer. I leave anything out? Probably did. His main cash crop was tobacco, but its price was usually low and was rarely profitable. So why bother then? He tried to achieve self-sufficiency with wheat, vegetables, flax, corn, hogs, sheep, poultry, cattle, but he lived perpetually beyond his means. So he wasn't a farmer then. He tried to be a farmer, but he was actually not a farmer at all, by the sounds of it. But yeah, a jack of all trades, but a master of none, as my granddaddy would say, right? Wiley Metz is here. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Wiley Metz down in Montana land. See what else is going on here with Thomas Jefferson. He was always in debt. Jefferson also planted 2 vineyards at Monticello and hoped to grow Vitis vinifera, the European wine grape species, to make wine, but the crop failed. Man, this guy's got the opposite of Midas touch, whatever that is. I don't know. His efforts were nonetheless an important contribution to the development of American viticulture. Yeah, what not to do. How not to succeed. Jefferson mastered architecture through self-study. There it is. I mean, we do want to promote that people expand their education. We don't necessarily just parrot what the educational institutions teach you to ape and regurgitate back to them. But I want to say that I probably can't heel-toe it down to my local neighborhood library, brush up on architecture, and just start designing buildings. And not just my own private mansion, no, important state buildings too, which we'll get into. So his primary authority was Andrea Palladio's Andrea Palladio's 1570, The 4 Books of Architecture. So he's reading a 200-year-old book just to, catch up to the modern architectural techniques, I guess. It'd be like if I wanted to learn how to do a live stream, if I don't know, went to Radio Shack and bought a walkie-talkie. Actually, it's not even really close. But anyways, Jefferson helped popularize the Neo-Palladian style in the United States, utilizing designs for the Virginia State Capitol, the University of Virginia, Monticello, and others. And when I was watching this show, this is what floored me. Okay, he designed Monticello, his own mansion. Okay, we've heard this before. I don't necessarily believe it, mind you, but I've heard it before.
I don't believe you.
But with that said, not only that, I mean, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a building that this guy's built somewhere in Virginia, apparently. Angel Dreams, hello, hello, welcome. Good to see you. Actually, I do agree with you, Dragon. Back in the day, Radio Shack was awesome. It was freaking awesome. Absolutely. Did I miss Ubu? There's Ubu. Howdy, howdy. Did he grow wacky tobacco? Probably, or maybe hemp. All right, so that's, Monticello and others. We'll get into that. In archaeology, in 1784, Jefferson, using the trench method, so now he's an archaeologist, started excavating several Native American burial mounds in Virginia. His excavations were prompted by the mound builders question, and his method allowed him to witness the stratigraphic layout. What's going on with you out there, Mr. Crow? Back at you, but I'm trying to do a show here. Jeez, if it ain't the Canada geese, it's the crows. Anyway, the various human remains and other artifacts inside the mound. The evidence present at the site led him to admit that he saw no reason why the ancestors of present-day Native Americans could not have raised those mounds. He's interested in birds and wine. Okay. He was a noted gourmet. So he's a gourmet. He's an archaeologist. He's a lawyer. He's a not very successful farmer. It seems like everything he did, he was a success at, except for farming. Funny that, isn't it? In 1774, successfully acquired the bridge by a grant from George III. As an advocate of Enlightenment ideals, Jefferson studied many aspects of the natural sciences and frequently corresponded, even hosted on multiple occasions, with Prussian explorer Alexander von Humboldt. So he was fascinated by the Natural Bridge geological formation, and in 1774 successfully acquired the bridge. So I skipped that line, sorry. So he just buys this natural rock formation. Natural. We'll just put a pin in that. We'll leave that for now. But King George just said, yeah, you can just go ahead and buy her up there, bud. It's not a problem. That'd be like today, me just being like, I'd like to buy Banff Hot Springs, please. Not the entire national park of Banff here in Canada, Canada's first and largest national park. No, just the natural hot springs, please. And I don't know, King Chuck or whoever, because it's on Crown Land, would be like, yeah, no problem there, eh? I don't know. It just seems wacky.
Well, that's just silly.
Silly, yes. Idiotic, yes.
American Philosophical Society. So he's a philosopher too now. Jefferson was a member of the American Philosophical Society for 35 years. Where does he find the time? Where does he find the time? I ain't been doing nothing for 35 years, I don't think. Well, no, let me correct that. Hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, buying and collecting old blues vinyl records. Okay, there's a couple things I've been doing for 35 years, but I'm not sitting around waxing poetic with a bunch of high-thinking Mensa buggers. I mean, jeez. On top of, the laundry list of other things we got going on in the sidebar here. Throughout the society, he advanced the sciences and Enlightenment ideals, emphasizing that knowledge of science reinforced and extended freedom. His notes on the state of Virginia was written in part as a contribution to the society. He became the society's third president, March 3rd, 1797, a few months after he was elected vice president of the United States. Guy's plate is full. Linguistics. Come on, man. He had a lifelong interest in languages, linguistics. He could speak, read, and write a number of languages, including French, Greek, Italian, and German, and English, I presume. In his early years, he excelled in classical languages. Jefferson later came to regard Greek as the perfect language. Come on, man. This guy's doing all of this. He's just doing all of this. Just, not a big deal.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Just all the time in the world. This is off the chain, man. I can't even believe what I'm reading. I'm shocked, but not shocked, and surprised, but not surprised. You feel me? While attending College of William and Mary, he taught himself Italian. He became the first familiar with Anglo-Saxon language. Inventors. He invented stuff. He invented many small practical devices, improved contemporary inventions, including a revolving book stand and a great clock powered by the gravitational pull on cannonballs. He improved the pedometer and the polygraph, the mold board plow, swivel chair. Get out of my face with this. Jefferson is seen as an icon of individual liberty, democracy, and republicanism. Hale is the author of the Declaration of Independence, an architect of American Revolution, and a Renaissance man who promoted science and scholarship. The participatory democracy and expanded suffrage he championed defined his era and became a standard for later generations. So there you have it. Link below. Thomas Jefferson, man. Wow. Like, this is just, I just don't even know. I don't even know. Anyways, the next link Also from the Wikipedia. I'm scratching my head here. Again, links below. This is from Wikipedia's The Jeffersonian Architecture. That's right. He's designed or has influenced the designs of so many structures that it's got its own Wikipedia page. Thomas Jefferson, the vice president / president / founding father / farmer, landscape designer, bird watcher, lawyer, congressman, inventor, philosopher. I'm sure I'm missing quite a few. Anyways, Jeffersonian architectural attributes. So he's sort of influenced or has attributed to this paladin design, portico and pediment entryways, classical orders, columns and moldings, especially Tuscan. Oh, why wouldn't you? Piano nobile. Don't even know what that is. Main floor elevated above ground level. Ah. Red brick. Of course. White painted trim. Anyways, Monticello, located just outside Charlottesville, Jefferson's Virginia home and estate, is situated on the summit of an 850-foot or 260-meter high peak in the Southwest Mountains. You don't say. An old world structure on a mound or a hill. Color me shocked. Its name comes from Italian for little mountain. Well, he taught himself Italian, don't you know? So of course. Jefferson began work on his original Monticello in 1768. He left his home in 1784 to serve as minister of the United States to France. During his tenure in Europe, he had an opportunity to see some of the classical buildings, which he had become acquainted from his reading, as well as to discover the modern trends in French architecture that were then fashionable in Paris. Of course. He just brings all that back. So he added a center hallway and a parallel set of rooms to the structure, more than doubling its area. He removed the second floor height, or the second full height story from the original house and replaced it with a mezzanine bedroom floor. The new design was an octagonal dome, which he placed above the west front of the building in place of the second-story portico. The room inside the dome is described as by a visitor as a noble and beautiful apartment. Sure, why not? But it was rarely used, perhaps because it was hot in summer and cold in the winter. List of Jeffersonian buildings. Of course, Monticello. Poplar Forest. The Lawn or Academical Village. That's at the University of Virginia. Which he was a founder, by the way. Farmington Country Club. Barbersville, which is a mansion. We'll get into a lot of these. The Rotunda at the university. The Nelson County, the jail in the Nelson County courthouse. Not the courthouse itself, just the jail. We better get a guy from 6 counties over who's a self-taught architect and self-taught speaker di Italiano, parlo Italiano. Better get him way over here to design our jail. Maybe we could save a few Benjamins on the price because we're not going to use an accredited architect. We'll just use a self-taught, autodidactic, Italian-American speaking architect. Anyway. What else? The Botort County Courthouse in Fincastle, Virginia. It's all over Virginia. A Buckingham County Courthouse. Sure, why not? And he directly influenced a whole bunch of other places. The Virginia State House, in which he was actually he partially designed it and was a consultant. Again, where did he find the time? The Manor House at the Bremo Plantation, the Manor House at the Belle Grove Plantation. A lot of these buildings are in that little trailer at the beginning of the live while you're waiting for me to go live, by the way. So yeah, again, there's just nothing. Oh, and here's the gallery, one photo, by the way. And taken from a crappy angle. Hey, let's look at everybody else looking up instead of looking up to see what they're looking at. Way to go, Mr. Photographer Man. I mean, aside from these photos, but I've got some larger, better photos that we can zoom in on. But yeah, this guy just designing all kinds of stuff. Cousin Vinny, there he is on Freemason. Cousin Vinny in the box. Because you know, when you watch the New West Reset live show, you get Frankie Fingers, but you also get some Cousin Vinny over here, eh?
So now you know what I'm talking about with the whole New West Reset thing.
No.
What?
No.
What I said about Frankie Fingers. That Frankie Fingers a New West Reset of the sand.
Wait, what? Rock and Tommy Rogers in the box. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hello. So yeah, Jeffersonian architecture. It's got its own page. Link below. We looked at Monticello. Looked at what was it called? Poplar Forest briefly. I've got links for those individually down below as well. The wacky page for all of these, the university, all of these mansions and whatnot. But I think right now is a good time to take a mid-show break. And then when we come back, we'll have a look at some of these photographs here. So if you're new to the channel, once again, thank you very much for being here, for joining in on, all of the
Shenanigans.
So what I do on the live show is I give you a sneak peek at upcoming Wednesday's video. Every Wednesday, I upload a video. Every Friday, and then every Sunday, the live show. So on the Sunday show, I give you a sneak peek at the upcoming midweek Wednesday video, which is what I call vintage footage video. Old-timey video, set to music. I give you a peek of that here. Friday, you get boots on the ground video. And then back here Sunday for the live show. This week's no different. What do we got coming up for this one? This one is Got 100-Year-Old Milk? Yeah, that's right. It's a short but sweet one. Just over 2 minutes long. 1920s. Yep, Got 100-Year-Old Milk. Smoke them if you got them. And we'll see you on the other side of 2 minutes and 20 seconds. All right. Thanks, everyone. Cheers. We are back. Whoops. Whoa. Welcome back, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello. Thank you very much for joining me here once again for another one, another live one, as a matter of fact. New West Reset Live, episode 166. We're looking at the castles of Thomas Jefferson with some photos from 1861 to 1920. This was all new to me. I had no idea. I knew he was a president and he was pretty important with the shaping of the birth of the United States of America, founding father and Declaration of Independence and whatnot. But I had no idea. The top half of the show, we looked a little bit into his story, the official narrative on Thomas Jefferson, courtesy of the Wikipedia. And man, oh man. So links below for everything we covered, as well as how you can get a hold of a fella. Thank you very much for joining me here. If you haven't already, please do all the things just to help a fella out. If you're watching this after the live, thank you very, very much. Appreciate all of your support. And yeah, everybody, thanks for winding down your weekend here with yours truly on the Sunday Funday Show. Our old friend Billy Philly in the box. Good to see you, bud. Hippie Shake is here. KJ Kinley Jackson's here as well. Tommy Rogers. Good to see you, bud. Wiley Metz and Kathy Broughton. Howdy. Dragon Sage is here. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Really appreciate it. There's Bradley Johnson, Angel Dreams, and Cousin Vinny on Freemason. Teresa Gregory is here as well. Michelangelo. Hello. Welcome. If I missed anybody, I'm sure I missed a few of you. Sorry. Baja is here. There he is. Ross, water the tree. Still can't beat some milk and cookies. Yeah. You know, you dunk those cookies in milk. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Angel Dream says, is anybody else creeped out about the thought of every cooler across the realm stocked with gallons upon gallons of milk and dairy products? Well, milk now ain't what it used to be. When my dad was a kid on the old farm, I mean, they had a few dairy cows and they had their own milk, and my grandma would churn her own butter. And then the extra milk, they would sell to the dairy in exchange for, the fromagerie, but the dairy that would make the cheese. And then they would re-deliver the cheese back to the old farm. But yeah, milk now is, they put sugar in milk. I know that probably doesn't surprise you. But yeah, they put sugar in milk. So milk ain't what it used to be, that's for sure. People say, oh, we shouldn't be drinking cow's milk. But people drank cow's milk for what we're told are thousands of years and everything was fine. It's just now they're messing around with it, monkeying with it. Anyways, before I get into the photographs here, I wanted to share something with you and get your opinion on something here. And we're talking about castles. Now, we're talking about the United States here, and generally speaking, the term castle is not exactly synonymous with the New World, especially here in North America, Canada land, and the good old US of A. It's not castles. No, castles are in Europe or especially in the UK. But, these buildings that we're going to look at, and some of them we've already caught a peek at the top half of the show. Some of them are very castle-esque. In Canada, there's hotels called Chateau this and Chateau that. Chateau is French for castle. So, come on. Oh, Quainitap. Old Rope Mi'kmaq in the box. Hello. Good to see you, bud. I don't drink milk as often as I used to, mostly just because of the price. And I work at a grocer's, so you can imagine. Get a little bit of a, they give me a little bit of a discount, but even still, I'm like, get a price of that milk. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to drink any of that soy juice or almond water or cashew gunk, because they put all kinds of crap in that too. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Quit distracting me there, Jack. No, don't ever stop distracting me, please. Don't ever change, people. You guys are the best. You know you're the best. Anyway, Castles, UK. They've relaunched the Harry Potter. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, I guess if you've grown up in the UK and you're of a certain generation or two, you're very familiar with Harry Potter. I didn't read any of the books, but I like the movies, most especially from number 3 onward. The first couple, when they're really young, they're kind of, I get it, it's kids stuff, and that's really kids stuff. But once you get to like Harry Potter 3 or 4 and beyond, I like those flicks. So they're relaunching the Harry Potter, but they're not doing it as a movie or movies. No, they're doing it now as a TV show. That's right. They've already cast quite a few folks. We've got John Lithgow as Voldemort. Is that right? No, Dumbledore, excuse me. John Lithgow as Dumbledore. That's not bad. We got Shaun of the Dead chubby guy. What's his name? Anyways, he's the giant with the beard there. What's his face? I've got a deep knowledge of the Harry Potter verse, you could tell. The guy who was a giant, Haggerty, I think. Anyways, yeah, so they've recast, they've cast a few people. Most of the kids look pretty good. Hagbard, thank you. Is that what it is? I have no idea. It's Hag something. You know who I'm talking about, though. It used to be played by the guy from that show, Cracker. Not Cracker, but Cracker.
That's racist!
You know what I'm getting at. Anyway. They've cast Snape. But they've cast Snape as a black feller. And it broke the internet. When I saw this, John Coltrane, that's it. That's the guy, John Coltrane. He's also in Ocean's 12, where they were speaking to the Hagrid. Hagrid? That's, you know what I'm talking about. The giant with the beard. Harry Potter's friend there. His chum. Baja's asking, why don't we do human milk? Or is that ridiculous? Well, if you remember the Dave Chappelle skit about P. Diddy making the band, P. Diddy always wanted his breast milk, but it had to be genuine. What was it now? It had to be genuine Cambodian breast milk, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, we're getting way off topic here. But Snape is now Black Snape, and it broke the internet. So much so that I found this genius thing that I want to share with you. This is AI, and I'm not a fan of AI, but in this case, I think AI was used, and he chose wisely.
Yeah, I'm Black Snake. Black cloak, black skin.
So they're kind of done it in like a mumble rap style. And it's all AI. But it was written, the music, the lyrics and the video and everything were written and edited by a human. But this is just funny as hell to me.
Walk the hall, they whispering. Cauldron bubble, I'm different. Dark eyes don't flinch, just glimmering. House points, man, miss me. Came from pain, they history. Same blood, they fear, they diss me. But they copy my brew, still sip me. Side eye from the portraits. Cold stone, but my soul scorched. They ain't teach where I'm from, had to learn from the alleys and the torch. Half prince in the world that hate. Half rage in the narrow gate. Half hood in the castle gate. Homie, never run from
Black snake, walking through the dark.
It's my favorite part coming up here, visually speaking. I mean, this whole thing is crazy. Somebody took the time to do all of this to troll the Harry Potter show for casting a brother as what is supposed to be the whitest of the whitey-ass, pale-ass, sallow-faced, clammy complexioned MF in the entire Harry Potter verse. But there's part coming up where he's doing a wheelie on this broom, and it just kills me every time, man.
One day my hand and a X in my heart. Turn that fear to a spell, then I spark. Yeah. I've been cursed from the start. Black snake.
They talk war in the streets. I see more than they see in the tower. Drive by, man, I glide by stealth. Broomstick, bring stone, cold shower. I ain't glorified shots, that's great. That's moms in black, that's waves. Of boys that ain't make old age. So I ain't my rage at the cage.
Walking through the dark.
There it is, man. There it is. It's so ridiculous.
One day my hand and a X in my heart. Turn that fear to a spell, then I spark. Yeah. I've been cursed from the start. Black snake.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.
Yes, indeed. Check out Nerdrotic on YouTube. He and the creator, Pierre Chan, behind this work of genius. What the F am I watching right now, says Kinley Jackson. Kathy's killing herself laughing. Dragon Sage says, effing hilarious. Yeah, you know. Hey, the internet gonna internet. You know what I'm saying? People don't like it. Now, this obviously isn't the first time that they swap out characters, right? They swap out a man for a woman for a man. They swap out, this for that for the other. But this is just the most blatantly obvious, ridiculous one. Oh, man. Well, your kids are fitting to be surprised when they tune into the new Harry Potter show and they're waiting on Snape. And this fool shows up riding his broomstick on a wheelie.
Oh, that's cold.
Popping his gat. Oh, man. Anyways, there you go. Howdy, Rain Cloud. Hello. Good to see you. So, yeah, the internet will internet. I just thought that was funny. Funny enough to at least share it with all of you. I'm not taking credit for that. That's not my thing. I obviously don't own the rights to that or anything. That's Pierre Chan and Nerdrotic. But genius. Genius nonetheless, dare I say. And that's kind of why I do things the way I do around here with, tongue in cheek, a little bit of sarcasm, and I try to make things funny to a certain extent. Try to have a good time with it at least. Because, well, I mean, these are some pretty daunting subject matters that, we tackle in our little dark cobwebbed corner of the interwebs here. And it is what it is. You look into this, do a little research, or even if you're just into it in terms of just watching and trying to learn or trying to come up with your own answers. This is pretty big subject matters, the lies and the control and the veil of secrecy and the more layers than multiple sacks of onions, And it can be daunting, and it could piss a fella or a lady off. You can get angry and frustrated over this thing. So I like to at least try to inject a little bit of humor into it where I can. Just as a nice sorbet to cleanse the palate. Anyways, let's get into some of these photos. What do you say? Enough messing around here. So again, these photos are from 1861 to 1920. I have labeled them and researched them as best I can. I'm trying to do better by you good people here with the labeling and some of the information. So this, of course, is Monticello, the photo taken in 1867. So just when Canada was becoming Canada, our Declaration of Independence, if you will, was 1867. So you can see it's already quite dilapidated, overgrown. Looks like there might be some busted out windows. There's folks living in here, It's not like when Jefferson bought that big farm in the sky. This did change hands and whatnot, but it wasn't taken as good of care of, at least so we're told, because it's looking pretty rough here in 1867. Looking a little rough, at least how I look at it. Hey, Stephanie's here. Babylon Fox in the box. Good to see you. Yeah, the Harry Potter. That's Snape. That's going to be the new Snape in the new Harry Potter TV show. I know he matches the descriptions in the books and what we've seen in the movies, played by Alec Rickman, perfectly. The resemblance is uncanny. Anyways, this photo is from 1870. Got this beautiful construction, old world, the dome, the pediment, the columns, all of this fancy wings, all of this architectural detail. Then you get this crappy wooden gate and fence. Come on, man. Don't pee on my head and tell me it's raining. Monticello again, 1870s is this photo. Circa 1870. One of them stereoscopic photographs taken from a glass plate negative. You can just see it just does not look as fancy as we see it today, and we'll see that here in a moment. Here we're getting a little better. This is 1880s Monticello. At least here somebody's come in and done some landscaping and cleared away some of the overgrowth, which has revealed some low, what I'm going to call mudflood windows here. Now, in one of the earlier articles at the top half of the show here, they talked about how one of the things that they attribute to Jefferson was that your main floor is above ground, which I think is used to explain away stuff like this in a building that looks very grand but kind of stumpy. I mean, that's probably a good guess, Wiley Metz, reclaimed and found. I mean, that's what I would... Yeah, that's probably a better word, Sage, stolen. It is reasonable in terms of as far as mansions go, but you got to think this is technically it's not an 1800s mansion, it's a 1700s mansion. So it is quite extravagant for the time. And some funny arches underneath over here too, and then this looks like a stone wall maybe. But looking in better shape here now. This photo is also from the 1880s, and it's a panoramic. See, there's some massive structure with some doohickey on the top over in the distance. No idea what that is. I mean, it's not super embellished, but I mean, it's quite fancy for the time period that we're told. And again, you're supposed to be a civil servant, right? And we know he was a failed farmer. Everything else is self-taught. But yeah, mansion, no problem. This is from a postcard from the 1920s. To me, does that look like snow? It looks like snow. You get that much snow in Virginia? That's a problem when you get some mud flood windows. We know that's a problem here in Canada land with all of our snow and ice, but in Charlottesville, Virginia, I didn't even think that was such a thing. Yeah, Odin's Raven is right. I would agree with that. It looks like it was just abandoned in the woods. I would agree with that for sure. Sig Sar in the box. Good to see you, bud. Howdy, howdy. So pretty, they put it on another postcard. This also from the 20s. Monticello, the home of Thomas Jefferson in Charlottesville, Virginia. All colorized, so you don't have to use your imagination whatsoever. Looks like we got some lions out here now, and some kind of vase on a pedestal, just setting on the grass. Not in the grass, just setting on it. It's obviously manipulated for the a manipulated photo for the postcard. But there it is today. Still stands, still glorious. Love the tulip garden. Not gonna lie, the tulips or whatever those are. The flower, yeah, tulips and whatnot. Lovely. I mean, it's a again, not the biggest or the baddest on the block, but it's a beauty for a humble civil servant. So this is the Virginia Capitol building that he was very heavily involved in designing. He was basically the co-designer, if I remember correctly. He and one other designed it. But he was also a consultant. So if there was anything, you know what? We want to put 6 pillars in the front instead of just 5. We better go ask Tommy Boy. We better go ask Thomas Jefferson. I know he's busy being the president or the vice president and inventing things and trying to be a farmer and a philosopher and a lawyer and an archaeologist and a shit. I'm surprised they didn't say he played the banjo, for pity's sake. But yeah, there you go. Look at the size of this thing, by the way, because there's a couple fellas standing in what looked like used to be a window or something, but it's been blocked in. Is this maybe a door down under here? I don't know. All I know is you got to go up 11.4 million steps to get into her. Not to mention these in the background. This photo is from 1861. Again, older than this camera right here from the 1880s. Opium Poppy, says Odin's Raven. Brown sugar connoisseur, replies Baja. You guys. That's why I say you guys are the best. You crack me up.
We are laughing.
This photo, 1865. Well, yeah, there are windows and a door. Oh, it isn't all blocked in. Must have just been the glare. Look at this thing. I mean, is this really necessary this early on? Even by American standards. You know, 1861, this thing was built in the late 1700s, early 1800s. I don't remember off the top of my head. But even at that time period, it's not like there was, hundreds and hundreds of millions and millions of people living all over the... It's still, one of the 13 colonies and whatnot. When this thing was dreamed up, designed, and built. It's incredible. 1865 photo here as well, but in the winter. So I guess they do have winters. Yeah, I think I remember reading that this was some freak snowstorm. So the photographer ran out to get a shot. Because these do not happen often. Yeah, they do kind of look like ant people. Of course, you got to have your top hat when you're... Oh, and you got to have the hand of the... you got to have the sign of the master of the second veil, the hidden hand. Oh, there's another top hatter there. How's that beaver pelt hat working out for you? You can thank Canada Land for that, buddy. Supposedly. Yeah, they do look like ant people. Here's a photo from 1915. You got a nice little jalopy here. You got a bunch of freaking log cabins. And then you got this. Are you kidding me right now with that? Yeah, I would agree with that. Channel 53 says that upper glasswork is unique with the half circles on the edges. Still stands today. Of course, added on to, but the Virginia Capitol. No longer surrounded by log cabins, so it would seem. And yeah, there is an obelisk. I'm not sure what the obelisk is all about, to be honest. I don't recall what the deal is with the obelisk. It's obviously dedicated to somebody. It's probably dedicated to Jefferson. So now we're moving on to the University of Virginia, and this is the rotunda at the University of Virginia. This photo is from 1868. I agree, KJ. I agree. Even if you go to places where you think it would not be similar, like a country in Africa or somewhere in Asia. I mean, I've proven that just with vintage footage videos on my channel of old footage from Asia or from the Far East or the Middle East. And there's buildings that look like this, or, you know, Capitol buildings, state buildings, courthouse buildings, post offices. But yeah, and this is basically a round building. It's an octagonal building, but the dome is perfectly rounded. And again, you just got to have some crappy gate. You got all this glory. Even the stone wall is suspicious to me. But then you're just going to put this rickety old wooden gate like it's the entrance to Nana's garden. Yeah, Giuseppe was everywhere. That's right. Just like a Santa Claus. Stacking them brick. Giuseppe just stacking them bricks. Doesn't matter if it's Virginia, Canada, China. Stack it a brick. This photo's from 1868 during the civil skirmish down there. Same time frame as this one. Apparently it was used as a veterans hospital or a soldiers hospital. That old narrative. Could have used one of the university or college or high school buildings as a hospital. That helps to explain away and stretch out the timeline so we can explain why it's here. Helps to add history, therefore add credence. And of course, there was a fire in 1895. That's right. You'll find that in the Wikipedia article. I didn't even bother because, I mean, we're all just going, oh, really? It burnt down by fire, did it? Huh. Ugh, yawn. Tell me something new. That's exactly where he got it, Wiley. He went to the Dome Depot. Loaded it on the train. Nope, trains weren't even around. Well, no, not when he built it. There weren't no trains. Loaded onto a flat deck cart and have, I don't know, a team of 6 mules pull it to get it to the university. Of course, we're all just going to stand around and watch this thing go up in flames. But then a couple of us are going to find the photographer is much more interesting than one of the structures designed by our founding father here at our university campus burning to the ground. By the way, it's brick and stone. Brick and stone. This photo looks a little fudged to me, by the way, but here's another one for you. By this time, wow, we better haul the furniture out of there so that doesn't burn. This also looks fudged. I mean, at this point, are we going to be shocked if we come across an altered photo. Raise your hand if you have not at some point come across an altered photo, and nobody's hands is going up. We got the wheelbarrow for the books and bring all the chairs. Now we got something to set on while we're watching this place burn. But still, the cameraman is much more interesting. 1895, I guess not everybody still had a camera at this point. Excellent question, Wiley. What are we looking at here? Michelangelo's summing it up perfectly with what the F? Here it is post fire, 1895. By the way, I've got a level here with all of these appear to be arched. I don't know if these are windows or what, flanking either side of this thing. So, by the way, not only did Thomas Jefferson found the university, or was one of the founders of the university itself, but he helped design not only the Rotunda building here, but what they are calling the, excuse me here for a moment, the term escapes me. They call it the lawn, L-A-W-N, the lawn. So he designed this lawn, but designed a lot of the buildings that flank either side of the lawn, which were the residences for the faculty and students. So basically, Mr. Thomas Jefferson designed an entire complex of structures, you know, just in his free time. This photo from 1907. This photo from 1910 of the now rebuilt post-fire Rotunda. They got a new clock. Let's see what they got here. Looks like it's 4 1s. Yeah, you got to take that clock back to the clock depot and get a refund. The clock's wrong. It should be an I with a V. Thank you very much. You know, I don't know what's going on here. Some kind of debutante ball? I don't know. Here's a photo. It's not the best, but from 1914. But here you can really see. You got a keystone above them. Looks like some are opened and some are closed. So I don't know if they're windows or if these are windows and this is a door. But there's definitely some lower levelage going on here. Absolutely. Here it is today. Yeah, it's definitely a door and windows. I mean, it's still a lovely structure. Let's look at this clock. Yeah, it's not an IV. It's 4 1s. The clock's wrong. And you think this is easy, eh, for old Giuseppe? Oh, no problem. I can make it a brick nice and round for you. Just like the Tower of Pisa, but she's a no lean. So Jefferson's responsible basically for all of this, yeah, including the landscape design, which isn't much. It's a giant rectangles, trees, but that said. Again, just in his spare time, I don't know, he's drawing it on a napkin. While he's the vice pres and the pres and a lawyer and all that other stuff. And an inventor. I mean, it is a beautiful building. And the ones that surround it are all magnificent as well. Very similar in terms of the color. You know, where you have the natural red brick. You have the white sort of secondary structure. And then you've got, you know, black in terms of shutters and some of the other small details. You can see here. So this is Poplar Forest House, another project designed by President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. because, you know, he had all that free time. This photo's from 1900. It was hard to find really old photos of this one, to be honest with you. Another one from approximately 1900. Again, Poplar Forest House. This was Mr. President Thomas Jefferson, modern day Renaissance man's secondary residence, by the way. This was like his country home. It's where I'm just going to go to chill. I mean, very obviously, there's a floor here with a door. But then you've got a floor up here with a door. But then all these arches underneath. This is a crazy looking thing, man. Did you really design it to look like this, Mr. Thomas Jefferson? Looks like there's been some patchwork or repairs or alterations or damage or something here. I'm counting 1, 2, at least 3 chimneys as well. Seems like an awful lot of chimneys for, you know, in a modest little country estate home. This photo's taken 1912. This is from, I don't know, magazine or something. But oh, wouldn't you know, 1845 fire damaged this house too. Oh, I'm shocked. Completely shocked. What's going on here? Michelangelo saying that the arch structure is slanted. Slanted this way a bit towards our POV a little bit. Could be. Looks like I said, it looks like there's been some monkey business here. So there could be some damage, some sinking. Definitely something going on. Yep, I see. Yeah, there's 4 chimneys on this little place. And he's got a boner for for the octagonal buildings here. They didn't say any of that in any of the articles referencing Thomas Jefferson's design characteristics. All octagons. Still stands, still lovely. A lot of monkey business going on. The ground is not exactly level here. It just seems to go down. But you see, I don't know if this is mortar repair, stain damage. Not sure what the deal is. Alterations. Don't know. Why are you missing the top shutters on these 2 windows, but not the rest of them? No idea. But it stands on this sloping grounds where you have stairs to nowheres, to quote a friend, Ross, water the tree. So you can see how it's higher on each wing, for lack of a better term, to the house. And then it kind of slopes down toward the middle. So it almost looks like there should have been some kind of garden or water feature or something here that's been lost to the land. All these slopes, it's sort of terraced. That's just what it looks like. I mean, I don't know for sure, but definitely extensive. Found this quite interesting. This is from an 1816 watercolor of Poplar Forest House. These are privies, by the way. Yes, fancy outhouses. Just when you're out strolling your vast circular lands and you decide, I gotta go popo. You could just dip into one of these. All nonchalant because there's trees around here. But I found this very, very interesting. So this is the Barbourville's mansion. And this photo is taken somewhere around 1880. It's hard to gauge it for sure because it burnt down in 1884. So the photo was taken sometime before 1884. Of course, another brick and mortar and stone building just, goes up like a tinderbox, like it's a box full of firecrackers. Lord of the Here and How in the box. Hello, hello. Good to see you. I want you to take note of these pillars or columns here. That the schmutz is busted away, and it's just brick underneath, just like everything else in this realm. Apparently, it's just built upon brick. You dig down deep enough, you're just going to find brick, maybe? I don't even know anymore, man. But it sure seems that way. These are not turned marble pillars. No, Giuseppe, you still got to hand it to him. And I'm thinking these are curved bricks too. So you got to get it just right. And then you got to get that schmutz nice and smooth. And then they probably had some painter come in and make them look like marble or stone. But no, it's just brick. But yeah, seems like a lot of the places that are credited to Thomas Jefferson designing burned down. I don't know. I just find that odd. Here's another one. This is that Botetort County. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. But this photo circa 1890s. This is a photo of their courthouse. Yeah, another one that he designed. He loves the pediments and the pillars. This one not octagonal though, and he decided instead of a dome, let's do a cupola with a little spire on it. Oh wait, there's a little dome there though. So it's bona fide, authentic Thomas Jefferson. If it's got a pediment, a dome, and it's octagonal with a bunch of pillars or columns in the front. Where are these stairs going to, I wonder? Maybe to light this lantern? Can't you just do the ye olde ladder lean? You got a foot peg here. Is it to help a lady get in and out of the carriage, the taxi? It could be what it is. The stagecoach or the carriage pulls up here and then the lady can trot along on this stone or brick sidewalk into these wooden stairs. I just love how we have the juxtaposition of this crappy dirt road and this goofy wooden steps up to help you. Don't most stagecoaches or carriages have stairs? Maybe this is just to get onto the back of a horse. I don't even know. But all of this crappy looking nonsense in front of this big, beautiful sight to behold. I'm just almost at a loss for words. What are you two fellas doing sitting over here? Up to no good, I reckon. Still stands today. The Botetort County Courthouse. Again, forgive me for the mispronunciation. Looks like maybe you've got some additions onto the back. Oh, super mud flooded here. With a nice stone wall. Cool channel name in the box. Hello, hello. People will tell you who's here as well. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I think I saw Angel Dreams popping in and out occasionally as well. I mean, it's a lovely building. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take away anything from the beauty of the building itself. I'm just not buying the official story. Now, this one I couldn't even really find that old of a picture of, but apparently Thomas Jefferson was responsible for designing the east wing of the Farmington Country Club. And I know earlier somebody in the chat mentioned it's probably a golf course. Well, there you go. There's your golf course. I know you're shocked, jaw-droppingly shocked, completely gobsmacked, I reckon. Nope, none of us are surprised to hear that there's a golf and country club. Now, apparently, he's only just responsible for the east wing. Again, how can you tell? Well, it's octagonal, don't you see? And it's got a big pediment and some columns and pillars in front of it. So you know it's Mr. Jefferson's handiwork. Plus, it's right there in Virginia. So you know it's true. And I think that's that for the file. If I'm not mistaken. Yep, that does it for that. I mean, there's tons. There's tons more buildings. I mean, there's so many. Almost every building on that lawn portion of the university campus, he designed. Again, there's so many plantation homes. You know, like up in the big house. You know. What else did he design? Courthouses. I mean, I showed you a couple, but I think he's responsible for designing or partially designing or co-designing, I think 6 or 8 courthouses. I mean, it's all in the official Wikipedia history narrative. But yeah, there you have it. A look at the Thomas Jefferson architect narrative, along with some of the structures we're told he designed, and then a bunch of photos from 1861 all the way to 1920. So what did you think of that? And what do you think of Thomas Jefferson and all of the stuff that he's accredited with? Farming and being a lawyer and learning Italian, self-taught architect, of course. Spoke and could read and write like 5, 6 languages, including Anglo-Saxon. Like, what's the point of even learning that? I'm just curious. Yeah, but there's literally no one left in the world that speaks it. At least Latin is used in scientific circles. You know, when you're naming a plant or some new bird. The flippity floppus operandi or whatever. I don't know. I don't speak Latin. I guess it's close enough to French or Italian to figure some of it out. But, you know, Greek and all this. I mean, in fairness, he wasn't distracted by social media. I will give you that. But, I mean, let's go over the list here. He was a landscape designer. He was a congressman, a vice president, then a president. He was an inventor, a farmer. He tried all kinds of different crops: corn, wheat, cotton, tobacco. What else? He was an inventor. He invented a whole bunch of stuff or improved on other people's inventions, supposedly. What else? Did I say lawyer? Archaeologist out there, like not just, you know, studying, but out there in the field digging trenches and stuff and digging in the sides of mounds from the, you know, Mississippian mound builders. Let me see, what else? I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, he part-time worked for Uber, you know, delivered pizzas. He had a paper route. I mean, you name it. Route? I'm not entirely sure.
Hot route! I don't. What is hot route?
So, yes, I mean, definitely people then were not distracted by all of the monkey business that's in these cursed devices. But with that said, you could have a lot of free time to be a manager at the Dome Depot and be a farmer and a lawyer, inventing a bunch of stuff, not to mention, you know, just helping to draft the Declaration of Independence. It's like, wow, you know, the list of what did he not do is probably shorter than the list of what did he do. You know what I'm saying? Or at least what did they attributed him to as to doing. Attributed it. That's the one. Anyway, so I'm getting ready to wind this thing down here very shortly. Again, as a reminder, links below in the description box for everything we've covered, including Mr. Thomas Jefferson himself, as well as a lot of his architectural designs in terms of buildings and private mansions and plantation houses and state buildings. universities. Speaking of links below, I also have a link below for a playlist for my vintage footage videos, which you will see here every Wednesday, as well as a link to my Reset 1700 mudflood documentary, which is still up in its entirety from the live broadcast of that over on Rumble, of course. It's on BitChute as well, broken into 7 parts, if I'm not mistaken. But if you want to watch it uninterrupted in its entirety, with just a little, what do you call it? Intermission in the middle is where you can find it. I am working on, almost finished, the director's cut of Reset 1700 because YouTube took it down and gave me a copyright strike for that. Yeah, funny that, isn't it? Anyway, so look for that to be coming up as we move towards summer here on the channel. So keep your ocular sphericals locked into the channel. Hit that notification bell, which ain't going to work, so you won't get notified, even though you should. Do all that other good stuff, and links below as well for my location map, courtesy of Cousin Vinny. And again, how you could reach a guy. So if you've got some stuff you find interesting, you think it would make a good topic of discussion for the live show here on Sunday, feel free to email me or just shoot me a comment on YouTube, Rumble, or BitChute. And donations to the channel on PayPal, not necessary. I've got a job. I'm doing fine. But if you feel so inclined, it's greatly appreciated. And if you give me your size preference and your return address, I'll send you some New West Reset swag. Speaking of swag and upcoming projects, meetup for it's almost become a annual summer meetup now here for the channel. But for the 5th anniversary of my channel coming up in June, I will be doing a meetup here in Calgary. We're going to be doing a meetup and mudflood walkabout tour of the old Mission District, Rouleauville, which was founded right around when Calgary was just a fort and a trading outpost, a fur trading outpost. It was just the Wild West out here. So that will be a meetup. We'll grab a coffee or and a snack or something like that, and we'll have a look around. And then we'll stop for a bite to eat at the end, lunch, dinner, whatever the case may be. Maybe a couple of wobbly pops. I'll bring along some aforementioned New West Reset swag. I'll bring along some T-shirts and hats to give away to everybody. Coffee and meals and everything are on me. So all you need to do is bring yourself and your walking shoes.
I'm going downtown.
I have not got the details all hammered out yet, but it's going to be sometime in June or July. And it'll probably be on a Sunday. Most folks ain't working on a Sunday. You know, we'd meet up at, let's say, noon on a Sunday, grab a coffee and some donuts, and have a snack, and kind of lay out the plan of attack for the walkabout mudflood tour, and then pitter-patter get at her. And then afterwards, I don't know, grab some pizza and beers or burger and beers or something. I don't know. Something. We'll have a wobbly pop or two or something. Benjamin Franklin invented rock and roll. Oh, well, that's right. And Muddy Waters invented electricity. I see what you're doing there, Sage. I see what you're doing. Did Jefferson invent the internet? He invented karate. It's Chuck Norris's great grandpa. He taught Chuck Norris everything he knows. Oh, man. Oh, I would love to have you. That would be great. That would be some great timing. You never know. That would be fantastic. You know, Cousin Vinny on Freemason, he's in. Yeah, so if you live in the Calgary area, keep your peepers peeled. Or if you think you're going to be in and around Calgary around that time, again, I apologize. As we get closer, I'll nail it down to a specific time and date for sure. It's all really depending on the weather. June is technically very wet. Traditionally, historically, it's very wet and rainy here in June. Because, as you saw at the top of the show, we still have snow here in April. So there's no such thing as April showers bring May flowers around here. It's more like June showers bring July tornadoes. That's how that works. Sorry, I skipped ahead here. Odin's Raven says, I'll cross the Rockies. Beauty. Beauty. All right, before I go, I like to leave it here with a laugh or two. See what we've got here queued up for this week. Well, I showed you earlier that it was snowing here today, but that's not the case in most places. I mean, generally speaking, spring has sprung. Spring's here. It's time you can get back outdoors, maybe do some grilling on the barbecue. You can always tell when your Greek neighbors are out barbecuing that spring is here. Doing the dance in the back. The guy in the back cracks me up. In the back there cracks me up. In the next scene, he's just eating, standing there eating lemons, not even helping at all. There you go. Just eating the lemon. Not a care in the world. That's how you know it's spring. When your Greek neighbors, or in my case, my Greek uncle, they're out there with the grill, just getting her done. Just getting her done. You just, everything in moderation, though, right? Like what they had on the grill there looked pretty substantial. You want to try to take it easy and you want to try to be healthy. I got a couple of life hacks here for you. One in particular that helps you with just a little bit of healthier eating habits. Check this out. This will help.
Wait, I think he's doing it that way. This is the wrong way. It's a good idea. Yeah, that's, it's the right way. Oh, right. Of course.
Yeah, that is the right way. Sniff the chocolate, but eat the broccoli. No, I'll sniff the water and then drink the beer. Thank you very much. How about I sniff the broccoli and then eat the chocolate? Wait. Hold the phones, Chuck. I got a huge idea. Brace yourself. Melt the chocolate and pour it over the broccoli. Bang! Yeah, it makes the beer taste better. That's absolutely correct. You're absolutely right. $373 and a 6-hour flight from Tampa to Calgary. Wow. Well, that's in US dollars, so that's not bad. If that was in Canadian dollars, that'd be like $800. Because, Canadian dollar. Chocolate. Exactly. You got it, Wiley. Chocolate. Oh, man. Okay, no, it's time to get serious, though, all right? Spring's here. People are getting out. They're having barbecues. They're having cookouts. They're going on camping trips, fishing trips. Whatever the case may be. Maybe it's just a road trip in general. So just be careful when you're out there on the road with your road trip, okay?
You to be honest with me.
I am being honest with you, dude.
This is gonna go a lot easier if you're honest.
And I will, yeah, dude.
Yeah. What are you on right now, man?
Cloud 9. What? Cloud 9.
No, what are you on right now?
One.
You gotta be honest.
I'm on one, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Stop fucking around. What are you on right now, man?
TikTok. What? Instagram. All of them. I'm on all of them.
I'm not talking about your ass. Drugs.
Sure, if you got some. Yeah, I'm down. You guys partying? Yeah,
Sir,
dude.
step out of the car.
I don't know. I may have shown that one before, but I think that is absolutely hilarious. Cloud nine, like I'm on cloud nine, right, Bart? I mean, I went to high school with guys like that. Hell, I'm almost guys like that. I've got 1 foot in the door of being a guy like that. I'm on cloud nine. Yeah. Anyway, be careful out there. Enjoy it while you can. And make sure you're not in this kind of situation like I was earlier today.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this.
So that is going to seal the deal here for Frankie. New West Reset and New West Reset Live, episode 166. The Castles of Thomas Jefferson, with some photos from 1861 to 1920. We just had even just a brief overview is actually what we ended up doing with this look at Thomas Jefferson and the narrative around his architecture. Some of the structures we're told he designed, just scratching the surface. So I would encourage you to check out the links below. While you're doing that, and speaking of below, don't forget to do all the other stuff. Take care of yourselves out there. And until the next one, have yourselves a good one.
Yeah, I'm blacksmith. Black cloak, black skin. Walk the hall, they whispering. Cauldron bubble, I'm different. Dark eyes don't flinch, just glimmering. House points, man, miss me. Came from pain, they history. Same blood, they fear, they diss me. But they copy my brew, still sip me. Side eye from the portraits. Cold stone, but my soul scorched. They ain't teach where I'm from. Had to learn from the alleys and the torch. Half prince in the world, they hate. Half rage in the narrow gate. Half hood in the castle gate. Homie, never run from
Black snake, walking through the dark. One day my hand and a X in my heart. Turn that fear to a spell, then I spark. Yeah. I've been cursed from the start. Black snake.
They talk war in the streets. I see more than they see in the tower. Drive by, man, I glide by stealth. Broomstick, bring stone, cold shower. I ain't glorified shots, that's great. That's moms in black, that's waves. Of boys that ain't make old age. So I ain't my rage at the cage.
Walking through the dark. One day my hand and a X in my heart. Turn that fear to a spell, then I spark. Yeah. I've been cursed from the start. Black snake.
nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
I forgot to mention before I go, tomorrow, Knuckleheads Show, episode 19, live here, the New West Reset channel, and over at my partner's channel for the show, Chris, Old World Exploration, 7 p.m. local time, that's Mountain Time, that is 6 p.m. Pacific, that is tomorrow, which is Monday, April the 13th. Knuckleheads, episode 19. We're going to be looking at Fredericton, New Brunswick. All right. Thanks again, everyone. Take care out there and have yourselves a good one. Cheers.
It's a mystery! It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma!